he still has his flash up, he's scary. After that's down, then you don't have to worry so much.
So we'll see if he can get those scary ganks in, because we got a game on our hands, guys. The Super Week winding down a little bit. We got 4 games left. Game number 5 right in front of us here. Dignitas on the blue side, Coast on the red. This is going to be a great match.
Should be a good one. It looks like everybody's going straight up the mid lane here, keeping tight. And we've seen invades almost every game, so it's really going to be on the first wards. Whoever gets that first sight of the other team usually has the advantage as far as the level 1 goes.
Well, right now, Coast are grouped together looking for the advantage themselves. Early wards coming down a little bit as actually Dignitas spreads out. There's the first one. They're going to spot Zach off to the side. Looks like Digidream's not going to look for the hook onto Crumbs, but they keep putting the wards down into the red side jungle and then go back towards mid.
So they immediately, both teams get down that Wraith ward. That's really been one of the most important wards for almost every team here in the LCS, to get down early, because it gives you so much information on the enemy jungle. Daydreaming going for the blind hooks. That actually hurts your on-hook percentage, so it looks like he doesn't care about that.
Well, so there's 2 things that work there, of course. You miss all the shots you don't take, but he is now at 0% here. So Daydreaming, he's got to turn this one around by the end of the game, or he's going to get a lot of smack talk on the boards.
I love this Explorer ward up at the double golems, because they'll actually tip them off if Zion does go for that early double golems to try and get his all-in gambit. This is a really popular strategy with champions like Riven. If they take one of these small camps before going to lane, then they'll hit level 2 first and be able to all-in the other solo laner and get an early start there. It also lets them know that Zion is definitely going top, and there will be no switch for this purple side team.
Interesting. So yeah, Dignitas taking their double golems from the bottom side, just like normal. We see that so much from the blue side. But you're right. I mean, Dignitas are actually doing the full default lane setup. Coast is only making one real change here, which is duo lane mid against Skara. But we do have that straight up 1v1 top.
And they are going to be aware, like we said, because of that ward. Kiwi Kid knows that Zion did this. If that wasn't enough to tip you off, coming to lane with half health and a health potion chugging, then that's definitely going to let him know. So there's level 2 by Zion, but Kiwi Kid's keeping his distance.
Definitely playing defensive against Riven, trying to wait for his own level 2 to get something back. But look at what Scar has to do in the mid lane, though. Daydream and Mashme pushing forward, really trying to zone him out.
And it's going to be a little bit difficult for the early levels here as Diana, but it's not too bad as long as he doesn't get hooked. That's where all the pain's going to come from.
Okay, so Scar going to try to keep himself alive then and away from those early annoying blitzbang grabs. Crumbs has hit level 3, and we've seen junglers a lot of the time hit 3, then immediately run to their solo lane and defend the turret.
It looks like he's not going up to the solo, and he's going more offensive down to his duo to try and put more pressure onto Shifter. And you can see the pink ward from Patoy does find this green ward, and they're going to sneak in behind him.
What a cool move. So some extra cooldown reduction on Crumbs. He's going to follow Patoy in. They've got the surround on a Shifter. This could be really bad for Ahri.
Daydreamin' is rotating down, and Nintendo just finished the Wolves, so he's on the way too.
They've got a surround. It's going to be a 3-on-3. The charm lands on Patoy. He's going to flash away from the pulverize. Beautiful move by Shifter. And now Dignitas has been forced to run away, but looks like there's no capitalize for them to grab. So Flash is traded. Shifter 1v3 wins that.
If Dignitas had waited another second to start that gank, then it would have been completely different and terrible for them, because Nintendo and Daydreamin' just barely got there. We just missed action by the split second right there. We almost had some explosive fights bottom.
That was impressive, but Crumbs, though, because that pink ward is still there, is looking for a reprise roll in this bottom lane, 3v2. He's waiting around. They might go for it.
And Fiddlesticks is very squishy early. He has 1 level in his Terrify already, though, so he's got 1 CC, and then Shifter also with the level in Charm. They do have 2 single target answers here, so that only leaves 1 extra member of Dignitas that will be free to use their character.
And of course, the exhaust is down. The lane is pushing, so they're getting farther and farther away from safety. There's the pulverize on a Shifter. He has no flash, taking a lot of damage, knocked into the air as well by Crumbs. Can he get the charm? First blood actually picked up by Nintendo, and he might just split Crumbs into blobbits, or he might fight Cutie Pie, trading 1 for 1 so far, and he's still chasing Ezreal a bit. Toy did go down, though.
Crumbs still has his passive Cell Division as well, so even if he did pop that, it would be hard for Nintendo. He looks like he might even want to go for an Elastic Slingshot here.
Nintendo Smite is available. Crumbs' blue buff wears out. Damage in the mid lane, though. Skara down below half health. And he is just trying to last it in the turret. Mashmi's not putting too much damage onto him. He does have that turret down to half, though.
Yeah, him and the turret both down to half. It looks like they're going to need some backup here. Even Patoy already heading over there.
Yeah, he definitely is trying to defend that one out. Scar not running completely out of consumables. He actually still has a health potion left in his inventory. But the people who have gone back to base do include Crumbs, who has kind of gone back there and picked up an early Sightstone.
Very even game so far. They did trade those kills, and the first blood went to Nintendo once again, but last time we saw it, the first 2 kills went to this tank jungle Fiddlesticks, and he wasn't able to make any further impact on the game.
So let's see if Dignitas can make that happen again and keep Nintendo from doing too many
Flash.
things. He does still have Flash, and you mentioned that he might just show up and get Zion Spartan running. Had the counter gank in the bottom lane, is lurking around. Daydream and actually roaming out from mid as well, but they're right on top of a ward.
Great job by Kiwi Kid. He backs off with that one. You don't want to hesitate when you see Fiddle and Blitz coming at you. He does have the Spiderlings that come out when he goes into Spider form too. So not only does he get that, extra move speed, but he also gets some free blockage for hooks.
And speaking of people getting blocked, there is a ward right on that brush, blocking Nintendo from getting a gank into this mid lane. Dignitas, they've actually moved their dual lane back to mid to hold the turret up.
Crumbs is going to make an appearance, as is Nintendo, but the fight is up top right now. Level 6 Zion, level 5 Kiwi Kid.
Dodges in with Repel, trying to do damage. Zion Spartan, he's going to flash back in, pick up the kill on the Kiwi, and Crumbs is taking Ignite damage. He does get split into blobs right here, but Coast, they've taken so much damage, and Mashmi has no mana or summoners. They can't pick up Crumbs. There's just a 1-for-0 top lane. Zion Spartan, 1v1 winning.
So he didn't really get anything out of the level 2 versus level 1 all-in, but the level 6 got there first as well, and he made use of that as well. Kiwi Kid actually took the bait a little bit there and went in with a Repel. Great outplay there from Zion, and he will start his roll up top.
And more than just a kill, look at the minions as well. Zion Spartan 52 to 29 in that 1v1.
It's exactly what happened in the previous game where he got going. He was already ahead in the lane as far as CS, and then he got a kill on top of it, which just solidified it. So now it's going to be extremely hard for anyone to 1v1 Zion, and he becomes a real nuisance up in that long lane because as Riven, he still has plenty of gap closers to get away, even if you send 2 people at him.
And just to kind of solidify his advantage, he's even rushed a Hex Drinker off of that extra gold. He is completely itemizing to shut down Kiwi Kid 1v1.
Yeah, he's fine living up in that top lane now. He can actually start shoving Kiwi Kid off of CS2 and try and increase his lead.
Okay, so he's going to be fine up there. Nintendo's going to look for other things to do on the map. His blue buff has respawned. He might look to get that over to Shifter. The lane's actually resetting a lot this game, though. Coast back to 2v2 bottom with Dignitas. The mid laners are back to mid. Everything's kind of gone back to standard lanes.
Yeah, definitely. We have the 2 versus 2 bottom, and this is the 2 versus 2 that I actually really wanted to see because Alistar is a great counter to Blitzcrank. If you hook in the Alistar, then all you're gonna get are the horns. And Ezreal
maybe
he just finished the Elder Lizard, which is actually a really strong point of Blue Ezreal because it's such an efficient item. And when you finish that, you're actually at a pretty good spike right now, and he does a lot of damage. But an extra person.
They've gone in on Patoy. Here comes the Crowstorm. The fear on Patoy's not level 6. He's going to go down from that one. PewDiePie 1v3. He's actually still fighting Nintendo. He almost gets the kill off that one. Has to Arcane Shift away. Great presence of mind to stick around. Just can't quite turn anything off of it.
Nintendo burning down, but he gets out of that one alive. And now we have Shifter joining the party.
He wants to hit Crumbs, but Crumbs is going to jump over the wall and survive. Shifter, yeah, he's just lurking around. He got 3v2. I don't see much coming out of this one as Skara comes in as well to help.
Skara actually should have stayed mid and shoved that mid to make Shifter pay for roaming down bottom. His presence down here was actually just wasted time walking all the way through their jungle and then going to walk all the way back up. Wow, he could have gotten a little advantage there from the roam of Shifter not being effective.
But he's actually just staying bottom anyway. The wave gets cleared out. They don't get pressure on the turret, but Skara doesn't want to leave.
So much, wasted minutes here actually for both teams in the mid lane there, and it looks like it's going to culminate in a large battle royale down bottom, 3 versus 4.
It certainly grouping around that one. Only Shifter's gone back to base at this point. He will actually go back to mid himself. And Dignitas saying, no, we really want this turret. Skara has rejoined the squad. And look, there's so much initiations here for Dignitas. Crumbs wants to go in. He's going to jump on Nintendo. There's the dive in from Skara. Oh, Fiddlesticks actually flashes the pulverize, but the headbutt, but he gets a flash pulverize there. Patoy still in the mix, low on health, but has to get away.
Yeah, and Patoy's still level 5, so it's kind of dangerous here. There we go, hits the level 6, and now he'll have that answer, the ultimate for the Terrify like you're talking about whenever Nintendo does go in. Cutie Pie with a little cheeky Mystic shot right there, and Daydreamin takes another one in the back.
Blitzcrank just keeps getting shot at. I mean, I guess he's a really big target, so it's nice practice. I should say target practice for Cutie Pie, but they have completely taken control of this bottom lane now. Skara, you know, it was a risk to spend so much time in that lane, but it finally turns into what just might be a turret for his troubles.
Yeah, it was actually great, and that was because Shifter decided to go back and head for that mid lane farm that we were talking about. That Dignitas take advantage of the numbers right there, dive the turret very easily, and that's really because they have Zach on their team. Zach is just one of the best at turret diving because of his passive, the Cell Division. You can stay in there and tank it all the way till the last hit, and then rely on your passive to get back up.
And even more than just like Zach, like look how easy it is for Dignitas to charge into fights too. They've got Alistar to follow up, Diana and Elise, like they all want to go ham on these guys.
That's why I like the Alistar pick more than the Janna pick as a counter to the big AoEs like Fiddlesticks, because Alistar also has a lot of offensive oriented abilities that he can use, plus the disengage from the headbutt.
So great champ select play then here from Dignitas to get some good synergies as well as the counter pick all in one. That's the mark really, I think, of a clever team when they manage to get things that work on both sides of that one. So we now look at Zion Spartan, though. He is still just trying to man-mode up that top lane, has grown his minion lead to 30. You can see the gold lead is 800 because of that, despite the fact that Dignitas are winning in global objectives with that turret kill.
Yeah, Dignitas, their bottom turret take has been unanswered so far, but Zion Spartan up in the top lane has really just been making Kiwi Kid pay for the early lead that he got, and he's just increased it so far.
So I have a question for you then on how Coast can play this one out, because the Zion Spartan like pain train is certainly a thing that has worked well for them in the past. He's getting really big in that 1v1, but they're losing the rest of their map. At what point do they have to sort of pull him down and say, look, we need your help, please help us team fight?
Well, there's two options. You could pull him down, you know, he could shove his lane and then come down for a dragon to force a dragon fight, or you leave your extremely strong solo lane up there and make him draw more resources from Dignitas to that side of the map. So then, if you do have a fight around dragon, you have the numbers advantage.
That's a cool idea. We'll see what Coast ends up doing off of this one. And right now, though, Dignitas are happy to leave Zion up there. They say, no, we want to go hardcore. It's actually on a Nintendo. The fear, the knockup. This is so painful for Fiddlesticks. He's trying to just life drain up, and he can't do it. Skara, hardcore goes in, picks up the kill. Another one picked up for Dignitas, making it 3-3.
That's exactly why a lot of people stop picking Fiddlesticks, is because if you get engaged on without going on your ultimate, there's not a lot that you can do. You're so squishy, he can just take you down for free, basically. And that means that they have no more presence to contest this dragon.
Absolutely great job then to get those fights started and make sure they could knock people down. Dignitas, as we said, they got the numbers advantage out of that one, and they picked up that dragon. So another global going their way puts them up 2,000 gold now for their 4v4 efforts.
That's why I really liked the composition of Dignitas here. All of them picking champions with dashes. It's exactly what you need against Fiddlesticks. Even though he's going to go tank Fiddlesticks, if you can still get to him, you can burst him down fairly easily. If he doesn't get to use his ultimate, that is a huge part of his kit that he's really counting on.
All right, so far so good for the Dignitas squad stopping the Crowstorm. We did just see them steal away the Golem buff just a minute ago after the Dragon, so a lot of this map is really going their way. However, Coast have found an answer. They've managed to collect people up into the mid lane 3 strong and take down mid turret.
That's a huge turret for them, but the Dragon's already gone, and the red buff is up right now. There's no wards up for them right now, so Crumbs is probably just going to go grab that one, and then there won't be a lot that they can actually invade down there.
So we look at this game and we see about 1,000 gold difference, just a little bit separating these teams right now. Nintendo is actually picking up some of these solo side lane farm. It's interesting they're kind of funneling gold to him, so he's just gonna kind of keep building tanky in this game.
We've seen a couple different takes on the Elise is some people preferring that extremely tanky build so you can actually stay in there and just make use of the base stats that she has that are so strong. A lot of people definitely like rushing spell penetration, but it looks like Kiwi Kid goes Tabby Boots instead.
Wow, he just wants to survive that lane. The Hex Drinker on the one side, the Ninja Tabby on the other. There's a haunting, guys. So a little bit of a mix for Kiwi Kid, but certainly a defensive tilt there. And we'll be able to keep tabs on how that lane progresses. Still down 30, but again, we'll catch up on that some more. Dignitas, though, they're still keeping 4 people on the bottom side of the map. They just haven't really found anywhere to go. Like, after that first turret kill, they've not really seemed to threaten structures so much in the recent past.
Well, Dignitas do have some good wards now that are going to allow them to continue that push.
Okay.
We have the blue side jungle is completely warded up for them, and they're just allowing Cutie Pie here double buff Ezreal with 2 major parts of the blue build finished. So he actually is quite powerful at this point, and there's not a lot that that Coast can do to contest this. You can see they're scared already, giving up a lot of free damage on this turret.
They are scared indeed, and the wards might just spot out Nintendo. They're really paying dividends here as they collapsed up on that right-hand side lane. And no, it's just like the presence is scaring them back a little bit. A new minion wave comes in for Dignitas. They wave clear again here. They're certainly knocking at the front door. They're just not quite finding the battle they want. Zion Spartan, though, is going to be in a battle with Kiwi Kid. Kiwi's going in for as much damage as he can. Zion's going to go back for the fight. Ignite is on. There's the Wind Slash, but the Cocoon's going to stop Zion. Kiwi, though, still forced to run away. Flash available on both those top laners, and they're going to just trade away.
Kiwi definitely has to be very careful, even though that Ninja Tabby was a really good buy against Riven because a lot of her damage comes from auto attacks. He still takes so much burst. I can see there, he didn't want to get outplayed once again with the flash stun from Zion.
The Hex Drinker was not even popped either, so as long as Kiwi was paying attention to that one, he would know there was still some more damage still to deal in that matchup. The jungle control that Dignitas has been holding seems to be pushing up even more. We see Skara kind of trying to dive in there. The wards on the blue side jungle still holding strong. And here comes a bit of a roam towards the top lane. 3v2 for this turret, maybe.
This is kind of what they wanted, was for Zion to draw more people up top, but he's actually going to pay for that one with his life.
Hex Drinker pop, trying to shield up and flash away. And here comes the Crow Storm. Will it be enough? Skara Fjord under the turret, but the turret's not hitting him. Here comes Shifter on the backside as well. Kiwi Kid forced to flash away, but now Skara is surrounded. He does not have anywhere to go. The ults from Shifter will make that a 1-for-1. And here's the pull on the Kiwi Kid. Daydream is going to 1v1 the top laner. Granted, he had some help from his team, but Coast actually make that fight a 2-for-1.
So exactly what Coast were wanting. The one part of their team that was ahead was Zion. And they're like, okay, we're going to leave you up there as long as we can until you can draw people up there. He finally did, and they made him pay for it. 2-for-1 now to try and get the other part of Coast here, this other 4-man team, try and get it out on par with the rest of Dignitas.
And as the result, they've got themselves about 8 seconds left of power play. However, their group in mid, there's no turret for them to kill. It's Shifter who really gets the advantage. He ran to the top lane, capitalized on that kill, and took a turret.
Another big win for them. Now they have the opportunity to start placing wards in the blue side jungle of Dignitas and look to deny that all-important blue buff from Skara.
That's going to be really, really important for them. The ward control, we saw it almost pay off on the right-hand side. They pulled people over, nearly got that second turret down, nearly baited Nintendo into a fight. Now this might just be Coast's turn to make the same thing happen. Dignitas, though, still feeling strong. Put a lot of pressure on mid. That turret is losing health very, very rapidly. The minion wave goes away, but they've got another one coming in. This might be another push soon from the Dignitas squad.
And they're going to have to send somebody up here to deal with Kiwi Kid because Zion has switched lanes. Now he's in the bottom, shoving that one by himself. And he has one ward at Tribush, but there's 3 members of Dignitas in the area.
That is a risky place to be then. He's going to go ahead and say, yeah, I'll back out of that one. Never mind. Didn't want to do too much there. Shifter was the man sent to stop Kiwi Kid in the top lane. And we mentioned how important this blue buff was. Daydream is coming down, but Scar's getting there pretty quickly.
Yeah, he tried to go for the blind hook over there, but Scar had already leashed the golem, so that was really, really lucky timing for Scar, and he does get his blue buff.
So really nice job then. He managed, really on both sides though. Coast had that golem timed out. You saw Daydream come down at the right time, but again, smart leashing by Scar does save that one out. So now we've crested into the mid game. 19 minutes in, couple of low kills, but turrets have been under contention a lot this game. QtPie, he's progressing through that blue Ezreal build pretty nicely.
Yeah, and Dignitas need to make another move right now because QtPie just shoved this bottom lane, so that is going to go into the bottom turret, and it's going to force a move. It looks like the move is going to be a dragon.
There we go. A lot of people grouped up. Patoy right around there. The fiddle bounces come through. Everyone's trying to contest for this one. Dragon taking more health. Blue team is slaying Dragon. The charm out of Patoy. This might be the wrong target, but the Crowstorm comes across. A lot of damage. Kiwi falls over. Everyone else is still here. One for nothing. Patoy gets out. Crumb's now getting chased down as well. The hook! It's flashed. Beautiful job, but just the one for nothing. Still, though, Dignitas took the dragon for that.
Yeah, Crumb's really nice smite right there, even though KiwiKid got in there as well with execute damage, so he definitely did his part helping as well.
And Patoy's actually getting chased around through the map right now. He takes a shot from the turret, has boots mobility, so as long as he waits another 3 seconds, he'll run fast. He did get out of that battle. Dignitas also, even though they lost the fight, took down middle turret.
Yeah, and that was only had a few more hits on it. Really, QtPie going for this blue steal is another huge story. They get all 3 MAC objectives that are on the blue side. It looks like Don't Match Me has something to say about it, though.
All right, now Zion Spartan definitely said hello to the bottom lane and tried to stop that one out. Over at the blue buff, though, QtPie is running away from Mash Me and Shifter, but he's going to Arcane Shift over the wall. That said, he did finish the steal.
Yeah, and something interesting to know about this QtPie build for his blue Ezreal, he did not put any points into W. He maxed his Mystic Shock and Arcane Shift first.
So a lot of mobility he's really emphasizing there. It's interesting because we've seen so many different takes on it. When NK inked the jungle Ezreal, he was using the Essence Flux a lot to help push mid with Vile Rose, and that seemed to pay off here. QtPie, though, I guess he's so afraid of Zion and Nintendo. I mean, I'm guessing here, I suppose, but he's just prioritizing that mobility. That'll be fun to look at and see how he progresses through this game. Of course, level 13, it's all for naught. So, let's take a look at some of the rest of these players in the map. KiwiKid had a very rough opening, but he's just taking some of that side lane farm and trying to catch up in this game.
Yeah, Elise, pretty strong champion, even if you are behind. He did get some spell penetration with that Haunting Guise, but it looks like Nintendo gets engaged upon again.
They're just jumping in on the Fiddlesticks. A lot of damage there. The Let's Bounce, he's going to terrify Scar and just run forward, draining and tanking for his team. The rest of Coast are going to run away off of that sacrifice. Great engage by Dignitas. Another kill picked up.
Talked about the initiations from Crumbs before. It was a problem for them early, but he's been on point ever since. It looks like it just took a little bit of practice. Going straight to Nintendo is the perfect target because, again, no Crowstorm, no problem.
No Crowstorm, no problem indeed. We saw how those just really turn fights around, but Coast with the 4v5 still want to go in. Damage into KiwiKid, the re-initiation from Crumbs. There's the ult coming out from Don't Mash Me. They're trying to find something. The hook does not land. Zion forced to run back as well, has popped his ult, and they just disengage. Nintendo's back alive.
Zion's trying to scare everyone off with his big sword, just waving that around, trying to protect the rest of his team, and they got away. They should actually wait here until Nintendo can get into position. Still has that Crowstorm available.
Does throw some bounces around, silences up the team. He's looking for it. The rest of Coast actually lurking around the corner, maybe for a counter engage.
They've been pinged out, though.
They have been pinged out. Nintendo tried to bait it. He couldn't quite have it happen, so Coast re-engaged in the mid lane, cleared this one out, and now they've got to realize, you know, Nintendo, you've been getting jumped on a lot. They've got to, I feel like they've got to position a little bit differently to get their fights going the right way.
Both of these jungle champions really benefit from Fog of War, and so that means the important buy right now are oracles for both these teams. You can see Daydreamin picks one up right now. They need to have a really good Fiddle ultimate, because if he keeps getting initiated on like that, you're still going to get the same results over and over.
Let's see then if they can make some different moves then out of that one. Daydreamin, oh! Scarra nearly jumps on him. Close one there. Not too long to cool down on his ultimate, so no big worry from that jump.
And Patoy, with an Oracle buy of his own, wants to clear them out, so Zach can do pretty much the same thing. If Crumbs is able to initiate from Fog of War, then he'll have such a better chance of landing some of those game-changing initiates instead of the flubbers that he started out with.
All you're going to see is a shadow when he makes his way in, and by that point you know it's too late. He's going to jump on you, he's going to bounce around, your life's going to be pain. Not going to be a fun thing. Daydreamin, though, happily sweeping out wards with his oracles, so the war on the Fog of War starting to go Coast away a little bit.
Yeah, so if you're talking about the shadows of Zach, a lot of people actually aren't even aware. When he starts his Elastic Slingshot, you can get an indicator. If you look for that shadow constantly, that's what you want to dodge. So if you guys are having a hard time with that, then maybe that's a little tip that can help you out.
Pro tips from Kobe here. Make sure you play well against Zach, because I'm sure after these weeks of games, a lot of people are going to really be picking him back up and making sure they see if they can play as well as Crumbs and Meteos and the rest of the gang here who've run him a lot.
That one's actually courtesy of Meteos.
Courtesy of Meteos, fair enough. Either way, guys, we've got a good game on our hands. Just 1 kill and 0 turrets really separate these teams. Only 2,000 gold apart as well. They've been looking for structures over and over, but the pushes, they've been defended pretty well on both sides.
Yeah, it's an extremely close game, as most of them have been in the North American LCS Super Week so far. And everybody getting up around Baron really makes me nervous because we've seen countless throws around this Baron pit.
The noob trap is Saint who calls it that, I believe. And is going to make sure his team groups up. They've swept out Vision here. Dignitas are keeping the opposing team in the dark. And you're seeing Skara constantly sweep out the mid lane. The top lane is pushing for minions as well. The map definitely going Dignitas' way.
Dignitas has to, take advantage of this, though. You're right. The map's pushing top, but where else are they threatening? It doesn't really matter if they let Coast clear that without making some other objective, pressuring it at least, then they're not going to gain anything from that. And it's just free money for Coast.
They were trying to bait out a fight on the bottom side. Unfortunately, it was sniffed out just enough, and then Daydream turned around. No Cocoon's going to land there, and Dig are looking for their next chance. They all run through a ward. Coast knows where they're at, and now the Coast is the team actually trying to control the Baron side.
Cutie Pie's a little bit far away from this one. The Dragon is up as well, though, so there's 2 different options. Crumbs right now and Dignitas, they could either go straight up the middle to push this turret, or they can retreat right after that and go for that Dragon, burn it down very quickly. They have plenty of damage on them right now. They can actually just rush this one down.
And rush it down they are going to. They've got plenty of damage, as you say, and Ghost is running towards them. I don't know if they're running fast enough. I'm a Cutie Pie is actually standing there trying to zone them out on the backhand side. Arcane shifts back, tosses out the Q. Dragon down below half health, and Ghost is going to say, well, we'll maybe try to push mid, but Dragon's yours.
Yeah. Blue Ezreal at this point is basically like a wall of ice over here. He can continually slow you, and he can actually heads up stop the whole Coast team by himself. He could zone them from Dragon. Patoy has to use his ulti.
And the charm is used after he uses the ulti to put him back into the team. However, with the ult damage reduction, he does not get dropped low enough. He does walk away from that successfully. But heck, an ultless Patoy might just be what Coast needs.
That's a huge cooldown for Alistar because as a support, he's not that tanky yet. He really relies on the ultimate to be able to survive all in the team fights.
So the next 90 seconds could make or break this game, as Coast says, your Alistar is not tanky. The rest you can jump in, but at least the cow can be turned into some nice beef. We can have a little meal off of them. Dignitas trying to hold their mid lane. Patoy's healed back up. Pull almost lands on Ascara. Looks like that push is not going to turn into anything for Coast.
They're just going to back off once again because the top and bottom lanes are both slowly pushing here for Dignitas. Right now, Dignitas, again, they need to make a move to capitalize on the 2 pushing lanes that they have. So they're going to go straight up the middle and force Coast to make a decision. Do we give up our top lane farm that's going to be up there and try and defend this turret? Nintendo looks like he's in a precarious situation once again.
Constantly Crumbs is jumping onto him and making his life difficult. The initiations onto Fiddlesticks, getting onto him so he can't crow storm onto you, has been kind of the name of the game for Dignitas. They've done a very good job of making sure they get on Nintendo.
They're going to have to keep him interested here, and the Vision Wars are going to be very important.
There we go. A lot of damage on Nintendo. The ult not yet up for Patoy. He's going to go down. Zion Spartan grabs the kill. Crumbs jumps back in. It's a 5v4. Let's Bounce comes across. Daydream in the front. The dive comes in. Zion dropped incredibly low. He's still trying to run away. Zion does get dropped down, but Shifter and the Crowstorm are coming back in. So much damage going back onto the Dignitas squad, but now Mashby's under fire. The pull back onto Kiwi Kid, but Kiwi is so big now. He picks up 1. He picks up 2, and Dignitas just wiped the floor with Coast.
So easy to clean up with this Dignitas team where everyone's got jumps and dashes. Blue Ezreal is probably the best champion there is for cleaning up after a team fight like that. And even though Patoy didn't have his ult and he got exploded first, they were able to focus down Zion, who was the carry for this Coast team, and most of the damage was on Zion. So after he's gone, it's only Don't Mash Me.
So amazing team fight mechanics then, and the Baron does indeed go down. Great team fight prioritization by Dignitas, and a great capitalization as well. Took the team fight, took a global objective.
And Cutie Pie's not done. He wants more objectives after this. He's going to get some nice damage onto this turret here, even face-tank it for a little bit. We have the Blitz as well as Home Guard, Boots of Mobility, Fiddles coming. Will Fiddles give up on the chase? He will. He
Not.
should.
Yeah,
He should.
Daydreamin wants a little part of that as well, but an Iceborne Gauntlet Q to the face says, no, stop chasing Blue Ezreal.
No. Now they're going to retreat with this fancy purple buff that will definitely give them the upper hand on taking down the secondary ring of turrets. It's actually very easy for Dignitas to dive a turret because of that cell division on Zac. He can be the one to initiate. He can start it off with a slingshot and then bounce around. He doesn't even care if he's tanking the turret whole time because as soon as he pops the passive, it'll reset.
And it doesn't even have to be Crumbs. I mean, you talked about, you know, getting the reset and the reset on aggro, right, and not falling down. I mean, Kiwi Kid's got Repel, Skara is got his Zonias already, Patoy's got his Alistar ultimate. Every single guy in Dignitas is ready to charge anything.
And Blue Ezreal Arcane Barrages do hurt. Don't Mash Me just takes a third of his life from that one. It has to recall and put out the fire.
So the fire department calling a little bit for those guys. They're going to heal themselves back up, and now it is time for, you said, the tower diving is available. Dignitas wants to get on a secondary ring of turrets, 3-3, but it could be turned around very, very soon. Crumbs, Dignitas, the rest of the gang. Actually, no, it's Scar being sent bottom, so he's going to actually split while the rest of Dignitas hold the team hostage here in mid.
Actually, a pretty decent choice by them. They have the upper hand right now, and they don't need to rush it as Dragon comes up, you know, 1 minute and 30 seconds or so. The pull! Nice snag there by Daydreamin.
He's trying to steal his own blue buff smite. Oh, he used it too early, and Crumbs gets it. Oh my gosh, that is going to be a little bit heartbreaking for Coast.
And I don't know if Nintendo is trying to give that to Shifter, but yeah, if you can see the other jungler right next to the buff, then you should definitely be using your smite to finish off the buff and not be trying to give it to one of your teammates.
And here comes the dive in. Crumbs in the middle. The enemy team, a lot of tankiness on him. Pull goes back into Kiwi Kid, and the team could be ready to re-engage, but Zion Spartan just goes down first. Kiwi does drop as well. They've traded top laner so far, but Crumbs is going to re-engage. Look for another fight. The turret's been grabbed by Dignitas. That's still a win.
There's the tower dive that we were talking about, but they actually were not able to manage the tower aggro correctly, and Kiwi Kid bites the dust.
Bites the dust. The cost of a turret, 11-9, 4-3, a couple of numbers in Dignitas' favor. PewDiePie just has no fear, and in front of the enemy base is like, I'm going to take this minion wave, no one's going to touch me, all is well.
This is classic PewDiePie. You know, he first did this on Draven where he would shove his lane just, you know, into almost 40 minutes into the game. Does not care who they send at him. As Blue Ezreal, he can be even more overconfident and overextend even further.
So definitely playing his champion to the limit, and despite those, some could say overextensions, he's still managed to not die at all this game. 4-0-6. Gotta say that Blue Ezreal is well beyond the item threshold he needs.
Yeah, the only thing now is he's going to start picking up, you know, some lifesteal with that last item slot after he sells his Doran's Blade. And from that point, he will not only be able to kite you around a full team fight, but he'll be sustaining himself the entire time.
PewDiePie, definitely hard to deal with. Has the lizard buff as well, so he's going to match the purple with a little bit of red. He's going to get the 2 lizard buffs onto himself so he can make people burn and die in fires, and that's going to be just grand for the Blonde Explorer. Dignitas, yeah?
PewDiePie also always starts, you know, the 3 lifesteal quintessences when he does his Blue Ezreal build, so, you know, he's had some, but he's definitely going to look for a nice boost on that one.
Okay, so when he gets more items, he'll be even happier. But for now, he's at least got some sustain that he wants. The Dignitas squad are looking to collapse back in on this one. Looks like they're running for the top lane right now. That is one of those secondary turrets still available. And the Batoy Oracles is really starting to crush the vision now from Coast.
Both teams, again, with the Oracles.
Yeah.
It's really been a constant fight, and neither of them can surrender that fight, because once you give up the vision and you resign yourself to just having Dignitas have complete control of your jungle, then that's when you lose your entire outer ring of secondary turrets, and you're really just going desperate at that point.
You really, really are. You're seeing those wards try to be put out in the jungle, just not really doing much, except give 25 gold over to Patoy. A 5th turret does go down. That top lane push, very successful. Coast just waiting around, trying to wait out the Baron buff, or wait till they have some kind of opening, because they're not right now looking for fights against Dignitas at all.
No, Coast, what they're looking for are some really good pulls by Daydreamin. They have to rely on catching someone out of position here because the straight up 5 vs 5s have not been in their favor, and Dignitas have so many tools to dive a turret. Even under a turret, it's going to be extremely hard for them. So they have to get a pull on someone, on Scar or Cutie to get them to burn their Arcane Shift or their Zhonya's early and kite it, only to have a chance in the 5 vs 5.
That's going to be difficult, but we'll see if Coast can have the organization for it. Cutie and Co. pushing down the mid turret. A lot of skill shots went out. Didn't quite land, though. Cutie still looking for some poke. The smite being used on a cannon minion. Coast are using everything they can to try to keep their turrets alive. They're just barely holding on.
Now, Dragon is up again, so they could just retreat and go for the safe play and get even more gold right now. But they really should be looking to pressure soon, because if you're just going to leave this game go longer and longer, we've seen so far in the North American LCS that throws are happening, all the time. So they've got the lead right now, and you should probably make something happen here before. Oh, there we go. Something is happening. Daydreamin does get caught.
Yeah, Scar doing a bunch of pain to him right there. Patoy's coming nearby. Another Q comes out. There's the headbutt. Pulverize. Oh, Cutie almost got to steal that one away. Patoy flashes, takes that one. Says, no, Scar. I want 300 gold. Thank you very much. Ups that KDA.
So Patoy was going to walk away and give that one to the Cutie snipe. But since Cutie missed, he's thinking, that one's mine now. Forget you, Scar. I'm flashing for it.
Now we know where Patoy's loyalties really lie. He was 80 carry, not his other teammates. Crumb's looking for an engage on the left-hand side. Doesn't want to jump in. The turret's going to go down, and Baron has respawned. Dig's got a new objective.
Yeah, at this point, it's really the slow strangle for Dig. They have pretty much complete command of the rest of this game. They're making all of the first moves, and it's up to Coast to try and respond to them. Without Blitzcrank, it means they're just going to have to go for a brawl here.
Oh my gosh, that is jump in on Nintendo. He tried to go for a cross storm of the wall maybe, but just completely got shut down. Oh, he has reset this one a little bit, and Dig re-engages for Baron Nashor. Coast are still on the outside, though.
Fiddles is so low, and he doesn't have a Zhonya, so if he crow storms in, he's going to get blown up.
They got a lot of damage in a Scar, though. He's dropped very, very low. The re-engage in from Crumbs flashes in for the let's bounce, and now Daydreamin's in front. Crumbs has to get back out. He's taken so low. Zion's partner's now in the mix. Can he get the damage? Kills off Scar. Cutie and Kiwi Kid are low. Cutie still chasing around. Shifter looks for something. They get the damage on a Cutie, and they've just traded kills back and forth. 3 dead for Dignitas. Crumbs forced to jump away, but he's now outnumbered. He's running and running and running. Kiwi Kid gets a kill on Daydreamin off screen. There it is! 2 kills, and there is the Crow Storm, the Terrify as well. Look how tanky Crumbs is, but he does go down. 4-2, Coast wins that.
Happy birthday, Nintendo. You finally get to use a Crow Storm this game, and you get rewarded with a kill. But great job by Coast to kite Dignitas back into their red jungle. And they're going to be rewarded with the Baroneer, the throws that we were just talking about. Always have to do right around Baron, and Coast are right back in this game.
Oh dear, and look at that, Nintendo back to full health. I'm surprised actually that Mashpee is still tanking it with Nintendo full with max drain, but they're still going to take it down without any real worries. Ooh, I think they killed it. Nice, Daydreamin spawned in time, so 4 Baron buffs here on Coast.
Definitely a huge benefit the more champions you get that on. They would love to have it on Zion, because he is, the carry for the team, and he did start out the strongest, but you don't want to risk something like that. In solo queue, I know a lot of people were like, wait 10 seconds till I'm up. What? Are you kidding? I'm not waiting 10 seconds to leave this Baron up.
I actually saw that in the CLG Curse game as well. It's like, enemy jungler's alive, they have no wards on him, and I'm like, GG's spawning in like 3 seconds. No!
No. Don't wait for it. Get it now. Don't care if you grab the Baron buff. Cutie is going to grab a red one for himself, though. It's a consolation prize. Not as good as the purple one, but it definitely complements the blue Ezreal build so very well, just giving him more on-hit damage.
And just look at the jungle control as well that Dignitas have continued to exude. That blue buff that Scar is wearing right now that he just stole, that's like 5 in a row they've taken from that camp.
Even with, the recent win in the team fight and the Baron buff, Coast still down a lot of gold right now. So they definitely know that they haven't won the game yet. They've just got a foothold here, and they have to build upon this and hope for some more Daydreamin plays here. Hopefully he didn't get a hook that time. He actually got caught, but it worked out the same. So
if I can't pull you into me, I'll have you jump on, and then we'll call it equal. We'll say I hit the skill shot after all.
Double sacrifice.
Crumb's obliging once in a while. So Dignitas is going to group up and say, yeah, okay, we'll keep pushing on. And actually, this looks a little bit more Dignitas-esque. They're actually pushing multiple lanes at a time now with PewDiePie on the right-hand side, the rest of the team near mid, and now Skara going towards top.
With all three lanes being pushed at the same time, they'll actually be a bit trickier for them to play because Zion has picked up a GA now. So even if they are able to burst him down, he can get back up. And Riven is one of the best champions to buy a Guardian Angel on because waiting for the cooldowns for her to come back up means when she gets back up, she'll have that same amount of life that everyone else does, but she can activate a ridiculously big shield and gain so much from lifesteal since her passive increases her attack damage. The lifesteal on her is just ridiculous when she gets back up. So you really have to just completely burst her down or CC her as soon as she gets back up from that GA.
Oh, good luck Dignitas, because Zion Spartan's being protected by a team of players who like to crowd control all of you, charm some people, fear you for a while, and have 2 area effect silences. So, Dig, if you can do it, my hat's off to you guys. Nintendude, though, he's got to just hold on to this mid lane right here. I mean, it's so funny. You talked about it, how they're still behind in gold, but the team with Baron is the team who's defending.
Yeah, and right there, PewDiePie did have an opening to go for that bottom turret, but the rest of his team were not in position to keep up the vision and keep up the pressure in mid, so you can't really do that 2-pronged attack if you only have 1 prong working.
1-pronged attack, not nearly as powerful or as as well described in history, really. PewDiePie still just pushing down that bottom lane, though that 1 prong is there. But actually the rest of Coast now have turned it around. They said, you know what, we're tired of defending. They're actually now pushing down mid finally.
Forcing Coast to do a tower dive would actually be okay with Dignitas. They have so many invulnerabilities and dashes at their disposal that they can kite around under a turret for a really long time.
But PewDiePie is still being sent to push the right-hand side. Crumbs just dives right in there after a hook. Zysport has to jump out. There's the headbutt pulverize. Hits don't match me. Blue turret has gone down. They're starting to trade their bases right now as PewDiePie is still pushing in the bottom corner. The 5v4 is still in effect. Crumbs actually waiting around with low health. The inhibitor losing a bunch of as well. And there we go. The inhibitor is gone. PewDiePie making his moves down at the bottom lane still.
The reason Crumbs was hanging around with such low life is they wanted to stop the recall, but Zion got it off and he has home guards. So he's going to try and stop Kiwi Kid from answering for another inhibitor. And there's another fight. Don't Mash Me is in trouble.
And oh my gosh, everyone is diving right in. Daydreaming goes down. Skara, ooh, nice Zonia's right there. Will they get to chase him down? No, he flashes out of that one. So a 1 for nothing. And PewDiePie is being defended by Zion. So no inhib trade. No, the flash fear. Can they pick up Crumbs? It's going to be close. The rest of the team is still around. The Drain is doing some damage. Kiwi Kid is low. Oh my gosh, Crumbs! There we go, he dodges the shadow, but that dude is a little outnumbered here. They're trying to run back. PewDiePie has actually rejoined his team. This battle's still going.
Crumbs. He's a little bit too far here, and PewDiePie does get stunned.
The flash stun, the ult comes across. Mashme's so low on health. PewDiePie's still getting chased around, but where do they even go? He's kiting Zion Spartan. Mashme has to dodge a Q right there, but they get the Bloblets. Crumbs does go down. Zion still trying to chase forward. Finally gets a knock-up on a PewDiePie. Oh, the dash, he dodges the stun, and PewDiePie is still kiting.
You're going to have to see some really strong blue Ezreal mechanics right here because PewDiePie's had plenty of practice, and he's going up against 2 people, and Nintendo goes in.
Oh my gosh, no, the Arcane Shift flash, he doesn't get terrified. I don't think Nintendo had the mana for it. And he gets out.
Not quick enough on the trigger finger there. It only cost 105, and it was on the cusp.
Close to that.
Very, very, very close there. We'll give it to him so he didn't have the mana. But yeah, one of the other interesting things really was highlighted in that fight is how when Zac gets lower and lower on HP, his champion size, the model, actually gets smaller and smaller as he turns into this cute little mini Zac Gumby figurine. And it actually bit the dust there too. So that was Cell Division down now for Crumbs, as well as him dying.
Great job then here for these Coast guys to turn something around and put themselves, you said it was a foothold a while ago. It seems like that foothold is growing a little bit more, even maybe a slight ledge, maybe a 2-foothold. They're still down a couple thousand gold, but they actually finally broke into the base. They actually did take out an inhibitor, and that really changes what they can do to the map.
It's huge when you have the difference between an inhibitor turret or an exposed inhibitor. You don't have to do that tower dive once more. You can force an open fight. If Dignitas really want to have another team fight, they can do it right now because they're starting Dragon and they have vision.
And do have vision, and Skara is so far away. Oh! I'm a PewDiePie. Hats off, exceptionally well played. Steals that one out. Didn't need a team fight.
Blue Ezreal Mechanics indeed does get the Dragon steal, and they don't have to go contest the Dragon. Scar wasn't even in the vicinity, so it wasn't a problem here. It looks like Crumbs gets another nice initiate.
He's jumped right in. So much damage in a don't match, but he's falling over. This AD carry from Coast is likely to fall over, but he's not quite. There we go. They've traded a couple of kills, and Dignitas still in the middle of the mix, and so much damage coming across. Only Zion Spartan is left alive. Just wipes the floor with Coast. He goes for Cubic Hit. The Zonius is popped, though, and Zion's going to fall over. He's got the Guardian Angel. However, he is surrounded. Only one kill picked up. Damage on a Patoy tries to jump out of this one. He might just be able to do it. No, the knockup from Crumbs. Nice kill picked up. Ace for Dignitas.
Talk about a beautiful initiate. Not only did Crumbs get a short hop over the Wraith Wall, but Patoy was on the backside flanking the rest of Coast so that nobody could get out. The Alistar did not let any man pass this day, and the inhibitor's not going to be the only thing going down.
Not at all, because they're still looking to inch forward. There's no minions in the base just yet, so it's going to be a backdoor bonus enemy base, but they've got a bunch of people here. They're going to start putting pressure on this turret. 15 seconds left on any of the major respawns here. This could just be enough, actually, for Dignitas. The first Nexus turret is going down. Minions flooding into the base as well, making a lot of good moves here. Second turret likely to fall. 6 seconds left on any of the respawns. Only Daydreaming up right now. Flashes in for the silence, gets knocked up for the enemy team, and it's now the exposed Nexus at this point. Crumbs so low on health. Here comes everyone on from the team. Double kill picked up, going in for Cutie Pie. Cutie Pie tries to take it down. No, that is 3 kills picked up, and now only Scar and Patoy are alive, and here comes the counterattack from Coast.
Over a minute left on the death timers for all 3 of them, and Coast are going to make a beeline straight for the Dignitas base. This could be the throw of a lifetime.
And Patoy is getting chased down. Daydreamin pops wards as he runs down, pops the overdrive as well. Patoy's going to have to dodge this one. I don't know if Daydreamin actually wants to necessarily go for it. Is he like delaying the hook? There's the headbutt pulverize. He's going to stop Daydreamin a bit, but the silence comes across. Here comes Scar. He picks up one. Fear off. Shifter's right there. He Zonius the charm. Now can they turn this one back around? He flashes out of the base. The ult is whiffed, but there's still 30 seconds for these guys to take down the base. Scar has to recall right now. There are minions flooding in.
That was so essential to the that could have been the game. If Patoy had gone down right there and Scar hadn't come in for the kill, it would be completely over, but they're still going to have to run for this one. Home guards on Scar. It means that he can contest. Inhibitor respawns at the perfect time.
10 seconds left. The first turret's going to go down. They still have minions. There comes the initiation on a Zion Spartan. A lot of damage on a Scar. Scar does not have Zonius, but he does take a lot of damage. Zion picks up the kill. Patoy getting shot as well. They go for another turret. The respawns are coming. The Nexus is going down. Can Coast do it? Patoy CCing everyone, and here comes Kiwi Kid. AD carry falls down. They go for the Nexus. They get it. Coast turns it around and grabs the win.
One of the closest games that we've seen in a long time. Both Nexuses go